I was pleased with what they did. Garrett's obviously banged up, Gio's banged up, so those guys didn't play, and that would have made it even better.
Garrett take an elbow to the eye or something?
Caught an elbow, and then Gio's having a rib problem. Like he's got a strain around one of his ribs, so we held him out today, and we're probably going to hold him out tomorrow too.
The fine that you put out for the Cardinal, is that, I know that you say you can flex around with the starting lineup, but is that a more perhaps concrete group you're looking at as starters?
Those guys are all rotation players. I don't know if they'll all end up being starters. And obviously things will change when Gio comes back in December.
Sure.
And then we'll have some decisions to make. But all 5 of those guys are rotation players. They just happen to be the group that was together for practice today. So I just left them together.
And it's a reasonable starting lineup, right? I mean, there's all 5 positions.
I feel comfortable starting that group.
Garrett said, I think actually that it was a small fracture, but he expects maybe be back by next week. Is that?
He's trying to be back by Wednesday, I think.
Okay.
He's got a doctor's appointment on Tuesday to see if it needs to be reset. If it doesn't, he'll be back Wednesday for sure. If it needs to be reset, maybe it's another day after that.
And it just happened in a scrum on Wednesday or Tuesday, he said?
He said he didn't even know who hit him, so I'm not quite sure.
Dante had, I think, almost 70% of his team's points, something like that. They were basically just relying on him. Does that worry you at all that your reserves are not too many guys could put up points, look like they could create their own shot?
Well, Aaron Fuller can't play anyway, it's for a year. I'm not worried about that because we're going to get scoring. We're going to be a better running team. I mean, to me, that's obvious already. We're going to be able to run the ball better. And we're going to have 3 or 4 guys come off the bench. Garrett didn't play today. We held Curtis out. So basically we got, he only played that first little bit. So there's 2 or 3 more guys with Gio and Garrett and Curtis that weren't even out there.
Do you look at Mo's potential like a one-man press break in much the same way that Mike was for you guys last year?
He is a one-man press break. Actually we spent about 15 minutes working on press break today, and then I just said, listen, if you can get the ball and dribble through everybody, could you do that, please? We won't have to mess around with this. So, yeah, he is a one-man press break.
Is that more effective? Would you rather have that?
I'd much rather have that.
Okay.
I mean, if you got one guy that can beat multiple players, that's going to give you a huge advantage. Gio can do the same stuff, so they're both very capable of being one-man press breaks.
On the other end, are you going to have him pressing the ball a lot?
On makes and dead balls, we'll press man-to-man and try to put ball pressure on. It'll be all out of man-to-man stuff, not zone stuff.
You had said before that you feel that this team can be as good defensively as the one last year. And granted, you guys lost some experienced players, but what is it specifically that the young players have to learn about the scheme in order to be as effective?
None of them know how to play help side defense.
Okay.
They just don't. I mean, and that's every high school kid in America with few exceptions. They just don't know how to play off the ball, number one. And number 2, it's so much harder to sustain your effort on the defensive end because in high school, all these guys did was jack shots and hang out. And so they're going to have to really, really get in tip-top condition to be able to play long possessions for multiple, times down the floor.
Do any of them have natural ball instincts, for just getting in passing lanes and anything like that?
Bryce and Mo both do.
Okay.
Yeah. Bryce really has it. Bryce is what I would call a steal guy. He's got a great nose for the ball.
Last Friday, we talked to you. You said your team's going to be drastically different or improve a lot in a week. What changes have they made in that week since?
Well, we can actually run stuff. I mean, we were out here running plays, running out-of-bounds plays. This early, we have a lot of stuff in. We're able to run our stuff very effectively this early, which, I haven't had teams really do it that much. I remember this game last year was a debacle. I mean, I left here thinking, I'm going straight to a bar room someplace because this isn't going to be any fun this year.